Hello and welcome to Agri-Foods for Youth, Women and Men podcast, where we discuss and showcase proven solutions to the challenges facing agriculture in Africa and in Kenya, and in Africa at large. My name is Harriet Mawia. I remember one time I had a chance to attend an agricultural economists conference in Abuja. And I remember when we were discussing all the research papers that we had published, these are the research problems at hand. I remember us doing that. And I asked one of the senior economists or scientists, how comes that some of the problems or research problems that we had like 30 years ago or 40 years ago before we were born, they're the same research kind of problems that we are still trying to address now. Well, he did not give me a specific answer why that is the case, but that continued to linger in my mind. Like, does it mean we have not made strides or we have not made impactful change in the way we do agriculture? And I continue to think about that. And of course, that's why I'm here talking about agriculture content or creating content on agriculture, because I believe we need to see change or to move or to see impactful change. Of course, don't get me wrong. I know there has been change and we have done strides from 1970s to now we are in 2025. I'm sure there are different things that we have done that we can see change in agriculture, or we can see change in the way we do agriculture. But is it at an impactful scale where it's an impact for the entire population? I doubt if that has happened. So the change that we see, I believe it's individual change and all that, but to the entire population, we are still not seeing a lot of impact or change in terms of the way we do agriculture, in terms of the produce that we produce, the quality and the quantities, and in terms of people who are doing agriculture, the farmers or the other stakeholders engaged in farming, moving from poverty or improving their livelihoods. So because I am based in Kenya, in Nairobi, and not just in Nairobi, in the rural areas, I visit rural areas a lot. I also live in the rural area. I can see, yes, there is change, but the change for the entire population is not there yet. But for agriculture to see transformation, not only in Kenya, but in Africa, I think we need to see a turnaround for everybody. I'll give you an example. I remember, viewing some videos for South Korea maybe in the 1970s and all that. When you look at South Korea, for instance, let's say in their technology sector, or the sector that engages in issues of technology and all that, you can see there has been a turnaround from 1970s to 2025, for instance, in that sector. But for instance, in Kenya, when I look at the change that has happened, I don't see the turnaround. I see small impact here and there, but to the population, the impact I don't see. I don't think that's something we have achieved. And I believe talking about it, creating more awareness, and trying to brainstorm on what solutions we need to have, and also being part of the many other organizations that are trying to think in this way of providing solutions and seeing change in agricultural systems in Africa and in Kenya. I think that's the way to go. And now that we have all these digital platforms where people talk about different things, why not talk about agriculture transformation? Why not talk about what we can do to see change in the way we do agriculture? Why not talk about what we can do to see, inclusion of young people and also gender, women and men in agriculture, and see impactful outcomes in the way agriculture has been going on the trajectory. I may want to come here and showcase the statistics or whatnot, but they are, of course, for different crops and all that. I'll give you an example for maize production. So over the years, the maize production, the outputs for yield have they did increase during the 1990s and in early 2000s. But after early 2000s, the production the yields for maize or the harvest for maize has been going down over the years until today, 2025. There has been, sometimes where we see some bumper harvest when we have, rainfall, and other times we continue to see declining yields over time. And for instance, as I mentioned, this is just an instance for maize. Yet we are having growing population, so we have many people to feed. And therefore, if the supply is going down, of course, feeding all these different people, it might not be easy. So this is just an example to show you that indeed there are things that need to be done to see impactful change and transformation in agriculture. And I'm happy to talk about it, to discuss it with people who feel we can discuss these topics and showcase solutions and see change to our population in Africa and in Kenya. Because there's this song by Juliani that says, if we do not do it, who will do it? Itafanywa na nani kama sisi? Like, we are the ones to really think about the solutions that we need to see and hopefully partner with the government, influence policy. Why not have policy that is people-driven, demand-driven by people themselves or by the farmers themselves, rather than policymakers just making policies for us? Why not have that initiative where we want to see change and we drive that change into our policies, into the things that we want to see happen in our agricultural sector? So this is just a podcast where we discuss these things, and hopefully we look forward to engaging with you and making sure that we showcase solutions to some of the challenges that we're facing in agriculture. So this is just a general talk about some of the things we need to see change in the agriculture sector. Thank you. Please become part of this community. Subscribe to our channel. Tell a friend to tell a friend about what we are doing. And as well, if you would want to discuss some of these issues, or if you are a farmer and you're doing amazing things that you want to showcase, we welcome you to become part of the community. We are happy to do that and to even visit your farm and showcase what you're doing to the rest of the world and to the rest of Africans, so that we can see change in our continent. Thank you so much for stopping by, and see you in the next one. Bye.